So who here has heard of Edward Snowden before? The infamous former CIA agent that revealed information, heavy information on that, on the NSA to WikiLeaks back in 2013. Some regard Edward Snowden as a hero to the American people. Some regard him as a traitor. But in the end, he changed the world with what he revealed. But what if I told you that in 2 years' time, another individual released more information on a different government agency, but this time no one could see it? What if only the government could see it? Or even worse, what if the government also couldn't see it? Hi, my name is Kohei Yasui, and I'll be talking about net neutrality and why your freedom on the internet is at risk. So before I moved to Thailand, I lived in the United States, and like any US citizen would know, there were ISPs, or internet service providers, to choose from for your internet access. There was Comcast, Verizon Wireless, AT&T, Time Warner Cable. My family, unfortunately, chose Comcast, and it was not the greatest. Well, to say the least, Comcast was rated by the American Customer Satisfaction Index as the lowest customer satisfaction rate in the entire United States, as a service in the entire United States. And that spoke quite true for myself. I often had slow internet speeds, my internet crashed a lot, and what's even worse, I had some weird Comcast ads on, like, eventually. But anyways, let's get back to the topic. So, what really is net neutrality, and what does that exactly mean? Well, net neutrality is a basic principle on the internet that was instated by the FCC back in 2013, or the Federal Communications Commission, which is a US company, that stated that these ISPs could not in any way interfere with your internet data. That basically means that they cannot slow down, speed up, interfere, bill you, or block you in any way with your internet experience. Net neutrality is a very good principle in general terms. It allows businesses to grow and develop on the internet, it promotes freedom of speech on the internet, and most importantly, it allows the internet to grow as a platform. So you might be asking yourself, why am I even talking about net neutrality if it's such a good principle? Who would want to get rid of it exactly? Well, to be frank, net neutrality is already gone. On December the 14th of 2017, the FCC, or the Federal Communications Commission, had a democratic vote on that, on repealing net neutrality. The vote ended in a 3-2, 3 being Republicans and 2 being Democrats. Well, yeah, obviously. Now, this vote largely took place because of the newly administered FCC chairman of 2017, Ajit Pai. And, well, yeah, he's been on the internet lately. Ajit Pai's largest argument is that he says that net neutrality stifles innovation and gives the government more control over the internet. And while that's true to some certain extent, and it could have its consequences, at the same time, you're just giving these guys, companies at that, who want money, more power. And what's worse is that Ajit Pai neglects to listen to the American people. A large majority of the American people do not want this repeal to happen. Even whether you're Democratic, Republican, whatever, doesn't matter. Most people do not favor this. And yeah, exactly. So ISPs have also stated that they won't do anything with this power. And they just want less control by the government over the internet. But they're just basically saying, we're not going to abuse it, but we want the ability to abuse it. Like, what? These guys. So, net neutrality will completely change how the internet functions, unlike today. Take this example into consideration. Comcast, a very popular ISP in the United States, partners with Yahoo. A Comcast customer gets slow internet speeds on Google and has to pay for Google as well. Whatever. This is what the post-non-net neutrality internet could look like. Common sites such as YouTube, Netflix, Google, and other such sites could be separately billed every month depending on their package and their ISP for their access to these websites. And what's even worse is the biggest problem with this repeal, it will completely destroy freedom of speech on the internet. Let's say ISP has some weird political view. They could block anything. They could block negative criticism about that ISP. Now, the sad part is the FCC has already repealed net neutrality. But for it to fully take effect, it needs to actually go through the Congress first, and that'll take place in 60 days. So there is still a little light in the dark. The Senate has ordered a bill under the Congressional Review Act to nullify the FCC's decision on repealing net neutrality. The vote needs a large majority of the Democrats, people on the Senate, as well as a few Republican senators. And I'm happy to say that as of yesterday, we only need one more Republican, that might take a while, to support this bill. So this is where you come in. If you're a US citizen, I want you to contact your local senator, whatever state you come from, or even a different state at that, to research them and see if they support this bill. If not, ask them what the hell they're doing. And if you don't live in the US, always realize that there's a domino effect to this. The US actually trickles a large majority of their net neutrality rules to other countries. If you live in Thailand, China, wherever, if the US repeals net neutrality, it'll go everywhere else pretty much. Now, I love the internet. You all probably do too. Net neutrality is important to keeping this internet free and open. We need to save net neutrality to save the open and free internet. I want all of you to support me in this. Thank you.